Hello boys and girls, today we are on lesson 12.4 and that's on page 715 in your math book. Our focus today, describe sides of polygons, and our essential question, how can you describe line segments that are sides of polygons? So we've reviewed polygons, now we're going to look at those line segments and how to describe those polygons. So let's look at unlock the problem. Let's take a look at this polygon right here. And how many sides are parallel is the question. Well, in order to answer that, we have to know what parallel means, right? So let's take a look at a few definitions here. First one here, lines that cross or meet are intersecting lines. Any lines that cross or meet are intersecting, and they form angles. Okay, they form angles. Let me erase this part here. There we go. They'll form angles. So this little section right here, that's an angle. And this will be an angle where these two lines meet. This is an angle where these two lines meet, and so on. Okay, so when they cross, they are intersecting. Intersecting lines that cross or meet to form right angles are perpendicular lines. Okay, and we've talked about right angles with our earlier lesson. If it matches the corner of your paper, it's going to be a right angle. And they even give us that little box that we saw on our polygons to show a right angle. We get that here too. And so if they form a right angle, that's called perpendicular lines. And then finally, down here, lines that never cross or meet and are always the same distance apart are called parallel lines. A little bit like railroad tracks, right? So these two lines right here, if we extended them out forever, they would never cross. Okay? That's going to be called parallel lines. So let's go back up here. We're looking at this polygon, how many pairs of sides are parallel, right? How do we know the shape is a polygon, first of all? Well, we know it's a polygon because it's a closed shape. It's a closed shape, and it's made only of straight lines. There are no curved paths. So since it has straight lines and it's a closed shape, we know it's a polygon. The only exception to that would be if I drew a polygon like this, okay, and then there's my polygon, but if one of my lines was like this and extended out, that's no longer a polygon. Remember, our straight lines have to meet at endpoints. They can't continue out like this beyond. So that's the only difference. But we usually don't draw those anyway, so saying that it's a closed shape with straight lines tells us that's a polygon. Let's take a look at here. These orange and blue line segments, they meet right here at that point, and they form an angle. So those two, if we look at our definition, they cross or meet. They don't have to cross. Then that's called intersecting. So these are intersecting. I-N-T-E-R-S-E-C-T-I-N-G, intersecting. They cross or they meet, in this case, and they're intersecting. Let's take a look at our next example. The red and blue lines meet to form a right angle. And again, we look over here, right angle, that means perpendicular. So these two, the red and blue, are perpendicular. P-E-R, per, pen, P-E-N, dicular, D-I-C-U-L-A-R, perpendicular. Now they are also intersecting, but they make that right angle, so we give it a special word, perpendicular. And finally, two lines that never cross or meet. They are always the same distance apart, so they are going to be parallel. P-A-R, parallel. A-L-L-E-L, parallel. Okay, and there's our definition right there, parallel. Okay, all right. So those are the three basic things we need to know for this lesson. Intersecting, right? Intersecting, which is right here. Perpendicular, which is also intersecting, by the way. And then parallel, never crossing. All right, let's look at our next page where it says, try this. Draw a polygon with only one pair of parallel sides. Okay, so to draw a polygon with only one pair, that means one pair cannot be parallel, and that's called a trapezoid. So if we can draw one line that's short, and then a parallel line that's a little longer, and then just connect the other sides. So the yellow sides are parallel, and then the blue sides are not parallel. So we have one pair of parallel sides. And then I'll let you see if you can draw a shape that has two pairs of parallel sides. Okay, parallel sides. So the yellow, my two yellow sides right here, one and the bottom one, those two, they make a pair. So that's one pair of parallel sides. We have to make sure we pay attention to that wording, because some of the questions will ask about how many sides are parallel. Well, we have two sides that are parallel. Or it might ask how many pairs of sides are parallel. And in that case, we have just one pair of sides that are parallel. All right, let's move to share and show. This is the time where you can pause the video, do these next four questions in the share and show section. And when you're done with those four questions, you can resume the video to check your work. Here we go. Go ahead and pause your video. All right, I assume you're done with these questions, and now you're resuming the video to check your answers. Question 1, which sides appear to be parallel? And B and D are parallel, so I just write that as BD, and then I'll give a comma. And then also, A is parallel to C, so AC is parallel. So BD is parallel, and AC are parallel to each other. Two different pairs of sides there. Look at the green sides of the polygon. Tell if they appear to be intersecting, perpendicular, or parallel. Write all the words that describe the sides. So if I look at our parallelogram here, or quadrilateral, number 2 with the green sides, those two sides are parallel. And that's all they are. They are not intersecting because they don't touch, and they're not perpendicular because they don't touch, and they're not at a 90-degree angle. So let's move to number 3, these two sides. These two sides are intersecting, and if sides are intersecting, they cannot be parallel, so they're definitely not parallel. They do not form a right angle. Again, a right angle would be an angle like this. They do not form that angle, so they are not perpendicular. They are only intersecting on number 3. Number 4, these two green lines, they are perpendicular. They form a right angle when they cross or when they meet. So yes to the perpendicular. And if two lines are perpendicular, they cannot be parallel. Perpendicular, that means they do meet, and if they meet, that means they are also intersecting. So this one gets 2 answers, perpendicular and intersecting. If you missed any of those, please fix it up and understand why or how you made your mistake. Other than that, boys and girls, that's it for me today. If you have any questions, of course, please reach out. As always, do your best. This is Mr. P, and I'm out.